COE champion over everything.
Champion over everything.
Hey, what's going on, champions? Welcome to another episode of COE Champion Over Everything. It's your host, RJ, and today I have with my sister, Miss Danyella Terrell. Look, man, I'm excited about this particular episode because, as y'all know, we highlight a business during our champion series, and this is not only going to be a highlight of her businesses, but it's also gonna educate our viewers, our listeners, on some things that they can do, some tips and tricks that they can do to get started. So, with that being said, Danyella,
Hey!
what's up? What's up?
Look.
All right. So as always, we kick off the show with your champion story, and that is pretty much your own personal testimony. So, the floor is yours.
Okay, so I'm Danyella. I mean, just that simple. Family of 7. I'm the baby girl of 7 children. Grew up in a household with a father as a pastor and a mother as a school teacher. We didn't have 2 pots to pee in or a window to throw it out of, but my dad was, he had a entrepreneur spirit always, and he took care of the house. I never wanted to be an entrepreneur. You know, I looked at that as the ups and downs of money. Because of course when people are buying or when people are booking, it's good. But when people don't book, if you get a bad review, then it slows down. And so I was cool going to work. I was cool going to the next job after I left the first job. I was cool. I knew at the end of the month, on the 1st, the 15th, or the 8th, the 23rd, or every other week, I was there. And I was so strategic I never, when I worked at McDonald's, that was probably the first and last times I picked up a check. Other than that, I did direct deposit. Put my money in there. Don't even play. Because it'd be on there on Wednesday to get paid on Friday. But one night, my family, they had come up with slogans of bad and bougie, kind of bad, kind of bougie, all types of stuff, because berries, trendy, strawberry, Miss Berry, Holly Berry, bad and bougie, all of it went. And so I was like, we need to start a business. We need to start a business. My family, my siblings are fashionistas. From Kim, Christy, Pam, they spend hours in the mirror getting dressed. Me, I was a little chunky something. I didn't care about fashion. I was cool. Yeah. Make sure you smell good and get out the house. And just one night, the Holy Spirit said, you started. So I did. And it has been pretty much uphill since then. I actually was, when I started it, I was slowing down with the work, as they say. Transitioning from jobs, and I created Very Boujee Boutique. Kind of going into how the pop-up came about and just really helping people was I remember starting up, not knowing what I was doing. So once you get that state business registration, once you register with the state, that's the easy part. You go online and you do that with
you
SOS.
Get your LLC or whatever.
Yeah, you SOS. You go to
pay you $50.
Secretary of State, right? Pay you
$50.
$50. You register, and that's the easy part. But then you have to get retail sales tax. You got to get an EIN, and when trying to figure out lingo and all that other stuff, it was crazy. I did have somebody to help me who had already had a successful business, but she had been in business for years, and so a lot of stuff had changed. Also, the structure of her business was different, so she was able to lead me and direct me, but she wasn't able to tell me definite. I reached out to several other ladies who had businesses, who had recently opened boutiques that I knew, and it wasn't that I was trying to copy off of anything that they were doing. They weren't even local.
You're just trying to gain the knowledge.
I was just trying to see what I was doing.
Yeah.
They, I'm gonna call you back. Or I help you.
And then you don't hear from them.
But I never would hear from them. And then, to text them twice, to ask them a question and they don't reply. Okay, I got you. Yeah. So, took me time. I got it situated. Like I said, Miss Sharon, I'll tell you her name, Sharon Lindsay, was very instrumental with giving me the information or telling me, hey, just call them, call this person or call this agency, or this is where you go just to get started. And so I really honored her being willing to share the knowledge that she had to help me get started. I've always been a helper. I'm a social worker. I've got 2 degrees from Southern Miss to the top, baby.
To the top.
So I have always been willing to help people. I always wanted to help people, so it was natural. But the Boujee Boss pop-up market was also something that came out of, in that social work piece, I bought a meal prep from this lady. She stayed in the projects. That's fine. So I imagine her, my welfare background, I imagine her being in the projects paying $68 rent. That's all I could think of.
Yeah.
She paid $68 a month rent. She get a utility allowance. And if I paid $65 every week for a meal prep, times 4, I know somebody else is doing it because somebody referred me to her.
Yeah.
At some point, she should be out the project.
Yeah.
That wasn't her mindset. So it was a matter of, let me provide a retail space for small business owners who are trying to really develop and grow their business, so that not only they change personally, but they make an impact in their community. So that's where we came from. So that's where we are now. I feel fortunate to be able, for the Lord to have entrusted me with the resources to even be able to fit the bill.
Yeah. And we're going to break down, like, the pop-up shop itself. But prior to the pop-up shop, for those who don't know, Danyella has an online business, Berry Boujee Boutique. Right? And that's where, like, if you came into the Boujee Boss pop-up shop that's located inside the Turtle Creek Mall, you will see a lot of her clothes, her hats, her accessories here in the store. But she also sells them online. So starting there, before we get into the pop-up side, starting there, that whole online process, ordering from vendors and finding what vendors work for you and what vendors don't work.
Let's say I spent a lot of money. I've always worked 2 and 3 jobs. That's just my thing. And so when starting the business, my husband and I, we had sat down and we discussed that we did not want to go into debt doing this.
Right.
So we set a budget, and it was easily exhausted because I didn't understand vendor, I didn't understand quality, I didn't understand product shipping. And so I would order, when you order things, let's go back, my website. I had to find somebody to create that. So my first website was from freewebsite.com.
All right.
It was a free website. I paid the guy $75 to set it up, but it was not on and popping. So it wasn't easy for me to maneuver, nor was it easy for my shoppers to maneuver. Adding product was easy, but of course you got to get all these pictures. Okay, so we online, we using that, we good. Buying product, like I said, people be like, Dayla, can you get this? Yeah, I can get it, but I don't get it in just one. I have to buy it in sets of 6.
You got to bulk.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I have to pay a minimum. I can't just buy $20. I have to buy like a minimum purchase of $100, $150, sometimes $500. So all of that was crazy. Well, even if I buy in one set a bulk of 6, and shipping cost me $30, I now have to double that cost of, because most boutiques upcharge 150%. Plus they blend in the shipping. So just imagine, I'll just use a small number because I'm a social worker, not a mathematician. $5. I pay $5 for something, plus I pay $50 for shipping. So 5 times 6 is 30. Add that $50, I done pay $80. So I have to do $80 divided by 6 times 3. That's how much each piece is gonna cost. If I get it and the quality is crappy, ain't nobody gonna pay.
Right.
So and we did that a few times. Or like they said, it was a small.
And it's like a extra small.
It's like an extra
or
small. Like
kid
my
medium.
thigh, my pinky toe won't even go in it. So we did that a few times. So finding trusted vendors was a thing. I started going to markets.
Okay.
Here again, I told you I wasn't a fashionista. My closet was full of blacks and browns.
Okay.
So my siblings helped me with all of that. Pictures for the longest. my first customer was Cynthia Page. And it was so funny because she bought everything that she tried on. She was supposed to be my model. And she took everything that she tried on, she purchased it. So thank you, Cynthia Page. Shout out to you.
That's a blessing.
And my family were huge assets to me because they would purchase the product and they would take pictures and send it. So that was a big thing. But yeah, I started out of my house. I had like a small room. The room wasn't even 10 by 10. It was probably, it was a small room, the smallest room in my house. And we outgrew that room over the course of probably a year and a half. And we ended up moving. And another year and a half came, or a year came. My husband was like, I ain't buying another house. So I had to get out of the house. I had to get up out of there. So here we are. But buying the product was difficult. It was very strategic in learning the vendors. I still learn new vendors. Going to market is important. It's so important. That's where you meet new vendors. But I know we're not talking about the pop-up, but too, I would go to pop-ups and I would meet new people who sold ladies' clothing, and some of them were forthgiving in information, and they wouldn't mind telling you, oh girl, try this vendor, you'll like her, or you'll like them, or they'll answer the phone for you, or no, you don't have to buy them in everything in sets of 6. You can ask them if they could split a pack, because realistically they come small, medium, large, extra large, where you might get 1 small, 1 extra large, 2 mediums, 2 larges. Well, you need more smalls and more extra larges than anything. So it's crazy to get 6 of something and you really need 3 smalls and 3 extra larges. So I had a friend that I networked from a pop-up market who told me, or pop-up store or pop-up shop, who told me, girl, just call them, see if they'll split the pack. So I started calling vendors to see if they'll split the pack. That helped out a lot because I was then able to get more
Of what you needed.
of what I needed in the sizes that I needed, and then realizing that everybody ain't no small, and everybody's small ain't a small. So that was a struggle.
Okay.
We survived.
All right. Now you threw out a phrase, go to market. Break that down for me. When you say
So-
go to market, what does that mean?
So market, that's where vendors, it's similar to the pop-up market, but that's where like your wholesale vendors, your distributors come, and like Tyson Chicken, when they come and say, hey, taste this is the new rotisserie chicken out, taste this, kind of like when you go to Sam's, this is the new rotisserie chicken out, taste this. You are able to see, feel the product. They'll even let you try it on in some stores, or some cases like Atlanta Market. You can go sometimes and you can try their pieces on, and you know, you get to see it.
Yeah.
I learned material count, like if it says 92% polyester and 8% spandex, that's more like that jersey cotton. But it's gonna love you. It's gonna love you. It's gonna fit pretty much true to size. But if it says it's 100% cotton, it ain't stretching. Give it what it give you.
And that's it.
That's it.
If it look baggy, it's gonna be baggy.
If it, yes, you know, polyester. If it says polyester, then that means that, I mean, it's probably gonna look a little like some twins.
I got you. Okay.
I learned a lot about, but going to market, you're able to compare the vendor's items. You're able to compare the quality of the material, and you pretty much, you go in, you take notes about what vendors you like, and you look for them again. Some of them do cash and carry, where you can purchase the stuff and bring it back with you, and some of it they have to ship it to you, which of course that's their shipping fee. But
Awesome. All right, so you're definitely teaching us something new, right? Go to market. But outside of that, you know, I think about the pieces that you have, and then I think about the pop-up shop, because the pop-up shop, it was kind of coming like before the pandemic. I saw a lot of people doing these pop-up shops throughout, and a lot of them were outside. Danyella was one of the first ones I saw that was inside. And just to kind of give y'all a breakdown of what the pop-up shop is, and then I'm gonna turn it over to her. I work for another company, and I pay a set fee, and I come set up 1 day, sometimes 3 days a week, and I have an opportunity to sell to people that I normally would not have the opportunity of meeting. That's how the pop-up shop works. But as far as overhead and all that other stuff, what from a small business standpoint do I not have to deal with that you have to deal with?
I was out of my house. My husband paid the mortgage. He paid the insurance. He paid the lights. He paid the water. He bought the groceries. I bought the tissue and the paper towel. But I didn't have to worry about none of that other stuff he covered. Here at the pop-up, like, so you don't have to worry about
The lights.
the high end rent. So remember we were down there.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what
yeah,
they call
yeah.
the lower end.
Ah.
Imagine coming up here and your rent tripling. Okay.
Oh wow.
Let me come back.
He made a
Anyway,
way. He
Like,
made a way.
listen, he will. He does. He is. Which we'll talk about the not the hustle, but the marketing strategy
Okay.
with making sure that that's not even an issue. But vendors don't have to worry about whether or not the rent is paid or the lights are on, toilet tissue in the bathroom, plumbing, none of that. I cover that. The
Yeah.
insurance, I cover that. Maurice Williams is my insurance agent with Allstate.
Shout out Maurice, that's
And
my insurance
he,
guy.
when I say he takes care from the time of, hey, I swapped this or we changed this up,
Mm-hmm.
can you make sure we're covered? It's just that easy.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
Hey, we're adding this, it's more expensive, we need to up our liability, we need to up our, yeah. So you guys don't have to worry about that. If somebody comes and falls or whatever, we have to have liability coverage of, I want to say the mall makes it $1 million. He took my lease, and according to my lease, made sure that my insurance is according to that.
Okay.
So, yeah. Clean up, break down, take down, lights. I buy more light bulbs.
I can believe it.
I buy more light bulbs than a little bit. But those are just things that the vendors don't have to worry about.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the basics of it. If it rains, you don't have to worry about your product being destroyed. Sometimes when you've stayed over like the week or whatever, you don't have to worry about taking down every day. You can just cover up and your stuff is safe here. But then let's say somebody were to break in and vandalize, it's covered under our insurance.
That's good.
So
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, being a business owner, small business owner, and I want to come set up, how do I get in contact with you to set up?
Well, the easiest way is to follow our Facebook page and message us on Facebook, but you could also contact me at 601-336-2347. Let me tell you, that's a business phone. I would tell you it's a business expense, but it's not, because it's a Google phone. So I can cut it on and cut it off at any time, because some people will call your phone at 10 o'clock at night talking about, hey, how I set up a table at your little pop-up store.
Oh, did they say look?
They
say look.
Yeah, look.
But they want to come set up,
Yeah.
and they look.
It's okay. It's okay. Despise not small beginnings.
All right. So, some of the other things that Danyella does, and I love this about her. As y'all heard, she ended up finding a mentor, right? She didn't say mentor by name, but she found a mentor in order to learn how to do certain things. So mentorship is definitely something that we all need. No man is an island. She had a team, her family and friends, some of my family, people that are surrounding around us that are helping her do certain things. But this is the beauty about Danyella. Danyella now helps other small businesses to do the same thing, to get started. And a lot of times, I know, Danyella, it's hard for people just to get started. So, what advice do you have to someone that's looking to, they already got the idea in mind, they've been doing the research, they just, I kind of want to wait till the right time. How do you tell them just to get started?
Just get started. There is no right time. Unfortunately, there is no right time. I didn't want to be an entrepreneur. I was cool without being I was really cool buying clothes from TJ Maxx. I worked at Belk for 12 years. I was cool with that. But get started. I have learned so much. I have met so many people. Starting a business changed my life, first of all, but it changed my mindset. Opening up the Boujee Boss pop-up market has really changed my mindset. I've been able to witness and see two sides of it. One, how people are so stuck with a impoverished mindset, and two, how people are released because of a prosperity mindset. The Bible says, above all things, I want you to prosper and be in good health, even as your soul shall prosper. Some people are miserable on their job. They're miserable on an 8 to 5 or 9 to 5 because they're under leadership. They're not happy with the jobs that they're doing. That's because God done birthed something in you. He's impregnated you and giving you vision to do something different. Just do it. Don't sit back in misery. Other thing is, as far as the impoverished mindset, in order for me to even get started, I was willing to pay people to do different things because I didn't know. And also because of my ignorance with some things, I paid for stuff that I didn't have to pay for. I didn't know EIN was free when I first started. I paid $235 for EIN. That's because I went to a third party on a third party website, and they charged me for that. As far as the surety bond, you know, when you set up as a LLC and you're selling things out of your home, they can't come and put a lock on your door, so they make you have a bond.
Okay.
It's a $500 bond. You have two options: either you pay that $500, or you get you pay that $500, or you get a surety bond. You get a like somebody to say, hey, we'll fit that. She's gonna pay us a certain amount. So I paid $175 like a nut for 3 years.
Oh wow.
Because you have to renew it every year. So I paid $175 3 times. Well, you do the math. I'm not a genius, but I know that's more than $500.
Yeah.
When you come into a location, you no longer have to pay that. I didn't know that if you sell for 6 months or less out of a year, you need a transient vendor. Even to be at a pop-up, there are transient vendor license that you need to have. There are permits that you need to have. Your privilege tax license is beneficial. Now, I never took Cash App. I hated Cash App. I've always hated Cash App. But, the factor that a lot of people take Cash App and it doesn't help you at the end of the year. So I learned a lot about what makes it easy. After that first year, trying to round up how much you pay in purchasing inventory, how much did you pay in operations, having to sit there and work all that stuff out. The importance of having a bank account, a business bank account, is a huge difference. Also, too, like if you don't have $500 to open a business bank account, they charge you a daily fee. So anytime that bank account goes under, depending on what bank it is, anytime it goes under $500, they charge you like a daily fee until you get that $500 back up. Now, some banks don't charge that, but some do.
Okay.
But that's knowledge that I learned either by force or by asking questions.
Right.
So I just want to share that knowledge to business owners. I don't want you to be stuck or stagnant. I'm gonna retire when I'm 50.
Yeah.
The only way I can retire when I'm 50 is I have to do something so that at 50, when my stream of income from working stops, that something I have invested starts to pay out.
Right.
So I call these little small things, those pop-ups that I paid money for, $20, $40, $75, $120 to set up at, I call that an investment for knowledge and for my my retirement.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, even as, I just said that mentorship. Danyella is definitely a mentor, but you do some special things to teach people the business. I know you just broke down a lot of information about surety bonds and licenses and all that, but I've seen you do some seminars as well, or small workshops. So tell us, you have a heart of service. Absolutely. But tell us how those seminars and workshops came to be, and how can people be a part of those in the future?
So I wanted to really educate business owners on resources, and I also wanted to help other businesses, which all of them aren't small businesses, with people who are out there. Networking is so important. So like workshops that we did last year, we did Bancorp South did one about business banking. We had Renaissance community funds that came in and did one about financial fitness, talking to our young people about the importance of starting a savings account, as well as HUD housing. What else did we do? We did a lot last year. Yeah. We had the first to come in and talk to us about their commercial lending or their home funding, their funding for people who make under a certain amount and they want to have a home. You know, as a business, I can go back to when I purchased my first house when I was 21. I ain't had no money, but I was tired of paying rent.
Right.
And so I was able to purchase my home. But if I had had the knowledge then that I have now, I would have done it. I'm sure I still would have purchased the home, but there were some things I probably would have done differently.
Right.
So just planning, thinking of those things ahead. So if you own a business, those are things that you need to know. I mean, it's just certain tax brackets. It's just a lot.
Yeah.
We had Dr. Bolton from the Women's Pavilion who came in and talked about women's health. Now I'm having a brain freeze.
Y'all just did something this past week as far as a fitness class, right?
We're doing that Saturday.
Okay,
We're
it's
doing
this
that
Saturday.
Saturday.
Okay.
Shanika Duncan's doing that Saturday. I'm constantly trying to network with people because you would be amazed at how much my phone rings as far as Danyella, how to do this. And I'm not an expert in a lot of it. I just know people who know things. Like Yolanda Morris came in and did tax talk. Yolanda Morris with Morris Tax Preparation Services is a beast. She works for the tax commission office. If you're in the state of Mississippi and you run a business or you don't and you want to make sure your taxes are done right, she's going to do it right. She has the knowledge. She too was a big help in me getting my retail sales tax because I was close. But she has the knowledge of, oh my gosh. So like I can call her and be like, hey Yolanda, is this exempt? Does this make sense? She'd be like, no, that don't make sense. Don't do that. You need to talk to this person. You need to talk to your CPA. We had Pastor Heath Heron from, it's not Heron and Associates, but that's what I want to call him. But he's a CPA here in Hattiesburg off of Oak Grove Road. He did CPA talk. He talked about the importance of having a CPA, what they should be looking for, what they can help you with. If you pay somebody to start your LLC, because those are things that, people are giving their time, they'll charge you.
Yeah.
That's fine. If you want to pay them to do that, you can write it off on your taxes at the end of the year.
Okay.
So if you pay them to get those things set up, if those are expenses that you pay for, you can get that money back. And he'll explain all of that to you. Bookkeeping, he explained bookkeeping and record keeping and the importance of that. Different tax brackets that differ from having a LLC to having a corporation. Things like nonprofit, the difference between nonprofits and how your articles and things. He just explained it really, really in depth.
Gotcha.
One lady I'll never forget, she had a salon, but she also sold jewelry, but it was all under the same umbrella. Well, if it's two different entities, it needs to be two different businesses.
Yeah.
And so he just explained all of that, and it was patient because sometimes what I could be saying it, and you'd be like, what is she saying? And then, so you just say it a different way. And he would say it maybe 2 or 3 different ways before somebody would understand.
Gotcha.
So just really patient about it. I know we did other things. Oh, Miss Harriet came in and did the one about food handling. So on my application, because I have a Google Doc, that's how I keep up with everybody. That's how I'm able to reach you when you book. I send everybody a Google Doc. That's how I get all your information. Everybody says they understand if you're selling food, the cottage law. Well, cottage law says that you can't have fruit just sitting out here. There's a certain time, a certain temperature, a way food should be handled. And Ms. Harriet came and explained all of that. No, I don't handle food, but I have vendors and friends who handle food, do food trucks, sell sweet treats and juices and all of that. And this is information that they know. So some of the stuff that I provide has nothing to do with anything I do, but I eat it. So I want
you gotta be knowledgeable.
I want to know. I don't want nobody to come shut their business down. I want to keep eating their sweet treats. I want to keep drinking their lemonade. But it's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot
to take
Reggie,
in.
I'm telling you, it is so much. And like I said, knowledge is power, and people are charging for these things. But from July up until now, I was at work. This me trying to see patients. Hold on just a second. let me call you back with that, you know, because I'm here with a patient trying to help somebody start their business or whatever. I've gotten smarter with it now.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like you need to invest in yourself. So I mean, I help as many people as I can, but I have started saying, if you're not willing to invest in yourself, then, I mean, I don't really have a whole heap of time for you. Now, I'm not going to brush you off. I'm going to direct you, but I'm literally not going to continue to, no, you need to do this and do that.
You can't hold their hand through the process.
If they're not willing to invest in themselves.
Gotcha.
Because
Champions, I hope y'all enjoying this week's episode of the COE podcast. But we got to take a quick break to acknowledge our sponsors. Aspire Pure, a premium ionized alkaline 9.5 pH plus water. That's a mouthful right there. That has a proprietary UV and ozone treatment to give you the smoothest and purest taste with every bottle. When I say smooth, I mean smoother than even me. So check out their website, www.aspirapura.com, and use the code COE10 to get 10% off your order. That's Aspire Pura.
Smoking Charlie barbecue, where you wanna eat.
Yeah.
60127 1633.
Take that.
Smoking Charlie's barbecue, where you wanna eat.
Smoking Charlie.
So good.
Come on now.
So good.
All right, so I hope you all heard from our sponsors. Make sure you like and support the podcast on all platforms. But I just kind of want to tell y'all about some of the stuff I've seen Danyella do firsthand with helping other people, and it's crazy. A buddy of mine, I came in a couple of weeks ago to kind of set up and work, and he was in here. I'm like, man, what you doing here? He was like, man, I got my own bait shop, and man, I'm just trying to get some help. And man, on site right then, you know, Danyella made him sign up to his Facebook. We added each other on Facebook. I started sharing because that's the big thing. We want to share to help support. People are always confused. You don't have to support me with money.
absolutely.
Subscribe to what I'm doing, like, and share. So in that instance, you know, she started working as a social media consultant. And it's crazy because over the last few weeks, the posts, the traction that he's been gaining, I'm going to let her tell y'all.
Well, actually, it's kind of social media. Before I even started helping other people with their social media, I knew the importance of social media. I just didn't have time.
Mm-hmm.
So I had hired on before a social media manager to help me with getting those posts out there and strategically, because I could post 5 things in the morning, but if I don't do anything throughout the day, then them 5 posts in the morning are null and void. So social media presence is huge. So for that particular individual, he was like, I need some help get my business off the ground. And I was like, okay, well, how can I help you? So we enter into an agreement. I sit down, see what they are interested in. We set goals. I say, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I want you to do. And we'll meet back up in a couple weeks, you know, just for follow-up. Yeah. So his main thing was I just need you to share. I just need you to share. Now, mind you, I don't know nothing about fishing. Like, don't let the worm touch my hand. Don't let the water touch my feet, you know. But, you know, his social media presence has people like, he one of his reviews was like, who's been posting on your page? And so that in turn has pushed another client my way.
Wow.
But it's just a matter of posting, sharing that. I share with people that I know like fishing. You were saying as far as, you know, they don't have to support you with money. If my family would have kept supporting me, if they were the only ones, they would have ran out of money. Like they had bought everything. They were finna run out of money. So by them wearing it and sharing it, people were like, oh, where you get that from? My sister's a school teacher. Grace, where you get that outfit from? She was like, girl, my sister boutique. So people started supporting me through that, or they would share what she wore, and that's just kind of how my business thrived, and that's how it goes. You know, but too, like other small businesses, like the furniture place the other day, I literally, just by happenstance, I wake up in the morning and say, Lord, guide my feet. Let me go where you would have me to go. And I had time to waste, but I needed 2 filing cabinets.
Yeah.
And so I said, okay, well, I'll go to Walmart. I'm like, I really don't feel like going to Walmart. So I went to the furniture store. And I've been there before. I purchased stuff for other companies that I worked for that needed office supplies. And we bought it pretty much consignment. And just got in the conversation. That's what it's about. Networking. Closed mouths don't get fed.
Right.
So everywhere I go, I wear my link thing on my arm.
Yeah.
I'm always talking to people. What you do? Like, where you be shopping at? Where you get that nice little outfit? Just stuff like that. So we just got in conversation, found out a lot about him, and he showed me things in the store that he wanted to do. And I was like, oh, yeah, let me help you. Let me help you. It's just that easy. Let me help you. I want to help you.
And because, it's pure from heart.
Absolutely.
Right? And because of that, it's genuine. People are, okay, all right, I see you really want to help me.
Like, I really
I'm going to let you help me.
I really want to help him. It was so cool. So if you guys are looking for office furniture and you go to South Mississippi Furniture and you tell him the Boujee Boss sent you, he'll give you 10% off your furniture.
10% off.
10% off.
South Mississippi Furniture.
It's right there on 49.
On Highway 49, right here in Hattiesburg,
Mm-hmm.
right across from the Yamaha dealership. All right, same side as the country store.
Dairy Queen, Dairy Queen, Exxon, right there.
All right.
Or you get to Tower Lawn. Well, Tower Lawn's not there no more.
Well, yeah, it's over in that area. Yeah. So, as you all are looking to expand and grow, your office needs, that's gonna be somebody.
He even has if you're opening a restaurant, chairs. There's a lot of stuff in there. It's not just office. It's a whole bunch of cool stuff in there.
So that's big. My friend, we coming to an end. So if there was something that I did not ask that you want to share, now would be the time. Or if you have one key takeaway for those that will be listening to this, what would that be?
I had 2 things.
Awesome.
Well, 3.
Let's roll with it.
One is, come on in here and be a vendor at the Boujee Boss Pop-Up Market. Don't waste your time. 2 is, sign up to be a charity runner for R3SM.
Yes.
Okay.
And what's the dates on that event?
April 2nd.
Okay.
It's April 2nd. It's downtown. It's an easy run. Hattiesburg isn't that bad to run. I'm doing the 10K. My goal is an hour to run 6.2 miles in an hour. It's not hard.
I'm going to sign up, but I don't know if I'm going to make no.
Reggie, you can do them 6 miles. You can do them 6 miles.
Oh, I can do the 6 miles. It ain't going to be no hour, though.
And my third and final thing is, if you have been brewing up a business in your spirit, if the Lord has given it, I'm not talking about you see your neighbor doing something, don't try to imitate them. But if it's something that the Lord has told you to do, you know that he has told you to do it, just do it. Just do it. Where he guides, he provides. And I have been here since July 5th. Well, I've been in the mall since April. My store been open since July. And when I tell you the Lord has provided throughout the entirety of it, he has, I could run, but I'm going to sit right here in this chair with my heels up. He has been a provider. We've had some learning curves, but I try to get better every week. So, and that's just with any business. If you're starting, people be like, well, I ain't going to launch it until it's right. What?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And another thing, too, she just kind of alluded to this, and I hear this a lot. Well, I don't want to do that because so-and-so I know is doing the exact same thing. Can you speak to that? Like, I don't want to have a boutique because my friend or my cousin baby mama got a boutique.
If your heart right, that don't even matter. So, I have had friends who have started, that I have helped start businesses. They have come to my house and looked at products so that I have sat down with them, given them vendors, sat with them, ordered stuff I don't even need.
Right.
Stuff I can't even wear to model so that they can start their business. That's just how, if it's something that you're trying to do, I want to help you. Now, I have had people who have started businesses and are upset with me because I did not reach out to them when I found out that they were. If you are trying to push your business, you come to me. I'm gonna help you as best I can. Like I said, and I'm not gonna babysit you, but I'm gonna help you. And it doesn't matter who's doing it. I mean, I'm doing it. I have ladies who, I got ladies that carry the same stuff I carry. Tony carry the same stuff I carry.
And come set up and
set up.
they make money.
Well, I buy stuff.
From her. The first day I set up, she was here buying stuff from Tony.
A lot of them do, because guess what? Here at the boutique, like, it might be something that I don't carry. The vendor could have been out when I tried to buy it. Or if I can't model it, I can't carry it. I mean, that's just my opinion. And then at home, my customer base were different. In the mall, my customer base is different. And so I'm trying to cater to a different type of clientele here in the mall. Tony is not here every day. So her clientele is a little bit different. Sometimes her style is different. So what she purchases is different as well. So some things that I wouldn't think to buy, she's purchased. And I'm going to purchase it from her. Not because I'm going to buy it and sell it in my boutique, but because I'm buying and wearing it.
Right.
It just is what it is. And it's not to mimic something that has been done. It is just, this is what's on me. Let me do it. Pop-ups, you mentioned this, pop-up stores. Pop-ups aren't new. It's not new. Pop-ups have been around for forever. We called them flea markets for a while. But ethnically, we called them pop-ups. So it's nothing new. It just so happened that, let me even go a step further. Pop-up stores in the mall, it new. Just so happened that Hattiesburg did not have one.
Okay.
The state of Mississippi had, I think, one other one before me here in Hattiesburg, but they are popping up everywhere in all the malls. North Park Mall, ABP, Taya was instrumental with helping me as well. I mean, we did pictures, we talked. So it's not about copying or mimicking. It's about, this is what the Lord gave you.
Yeah.
I mean, really, McDonald's.
And that was kind of my point. You know, you got McDonald's, you got Burger King, you got Wendy's. They all sell hamburgers, but everybody got their own special sauce.
Absolutely.
With
Walgreens
seasoning.
and CVS right across the street from everybody.
Yeah. So
gas stations, all
you got to
types.
do it. If it's on your heart, like she said, if God led you to it, He's gonna help you to get through it. So just jump.
Now, the other thing too, this is me being petty but realistic about it. There are a lot of people that are doing things. If you're not a good steward over what He has already placed in you, you need to perfect that first. I said I was cool working for people. I was. I went to work. Everybody that I worked for, if I went back today, would hire me right back today. Because not only was my mindset to help grow their business, but I that's what I was going to do. I was going to help their business sustain, because of course I didn't want to be unemployed.
Right.
But I was in management in probably 98% of my employment. I've been in management, and so I just have a good management background. Never thought that I would take those numbers and reports and different things and use them for my own.
For your own.
But some people are horrible managers. You don't know how to talk to people. You don't know how to deal with people. You're not organized. You have horrible time management skills. So know what's for you.
Yeah. Don't hop out there if you had, like you said, if you haven't perfected those small things.
Just little small things.
The small things matter.
Now, this is really the last thing I'm telling you. As a business, this is the biggest thing. I have been in this boat since 2018. I thought my first check was going to come this past weekend. I couldn't even write the check to myself. I couldn't. I took the check and I put it right back into my business. So here we are years later, and I'm having an issue paying myself, which, anybody will tell you, pay yourself from your business.
Right.
So when you're doing business, like I said, me and my husband invested money. The smart thing to do when you get that money is not to go spend it. It's to split it 3 ways. You get a part, you pay your workers, if that's the case, and then you put it back put a portion back so that you can rebuy inventory or beef up your inventory.
Reinvest.
Absolutely. So if you're not paying anybody, my family was big when I opened as far as helping. And my mom still comes down here every weekend, but I'm in Hattiesburg. They're in Jackson. That's a big leap.
Yeah.
But, reinvest that back into your business. I mean, I took my bit and I reinvested it back in my business. So we got new inventory coming up soon.
So she will have some new stuff.
Yes.
We getting prepared for the spring.
Yes.
She already got some hoochie mama.
I don't do that. Don't do that. But I do. I have shorts.
But she got some shorts already
I got Easter hats.
She got jackets. Yeah, men. She finally had some stuff for men. That's one thing. I think that one day we were talking about my buddy that was in here. It was like 4 or 5. Y'all ain't got nothing for me. Y'all ain't got nothing for me. And look, at that point, me and him light bulbs started going off in our head. Like, is it really gonna be a market for me? So we started talking about it. But she does have some things for men and kids. So
absolutely,
she got something for the whole
You
family.
gotta be strategic. I told y'all, you gotta be strategic as a female. And this is for women to think about if they're starting a business out of their house. When I was out of my house, people came to my house to shop. So carrying things for men was not even the deal, because they came to my house to shop. They came to my house for pickup. So they knew my address. That's not a safe thing. So if you're starting out of your house, think safety. Even here in the store, you still have to be strategic. People inbox me, they message me, and some of it is appropriate, some of it isn't. So I'm still particular about carrying things for men. But I do have a lot of men who come in here with their significant other. I have male vendors. I have male clients who come in, and yes, so my brother, that's why I started carrying body oils, because my brother wanted body oils. He wanted to be able to support me. I reordered the male hats when they finally came available, because my brother needs another hat.
Yeah.
You need another hat.
I need another hat.
I sold a few of the big brim hats at Christmas time, and people were just asking for them. So the market was rich for them. Demand was high. So be mindful of that, supply and demand. It's a lot. When you talk about business, if you get me talking about business startup, I could be here for hours. That's why with my clients that I work with, I got a check off sheet. Like, we're gonna stay focused. We just work this one first, go to this one next.
So this is definitely somebody that we will have back, because there's so much more that we can unpack. We limited on time because we want to make sure you stay glued in. But Danyella, all right, so where can they find you at on social media? Just in case they are not following you right now, where can people find you at on social media?
The Boujee Boss Pop-Up Market. I am the Boujee Boss Pop-Up Market. If you type in the Boujee Boss, you're going to see that picture pop up. If you type in Berry Boujee, BERRY BOUJEE, my boutique's going to pop up. If you go to Google and you Google Hattiesburg Boutique, Berry Boujee is going to pop up as a Hattiesburg Boutique, because we are on Google. You can find me at 1000 Turtle Creek Drive, Suite 480, right across from Journey's Kids, because that's where I'm at Thursday through Sunday. You can contact me at 601-336-2347, or you can email me at Danyella, which is spelled DANYELLA 201 at outlook.com.
Awesome. As always, champions, that concludes this particular episode. Danyella, we thank you for coming on and sharing your wealth of knowledge with us. COE, champion over everything. Once again, thank you for tuning in to COE, champion over everything. COE, we holding it down. 1.